Welcome to the channel. My name is Matisse. Today we're going to talk about my all-time favorite Avenger, Hawkeye. And we are going to do a top 6 ranking of his greatest enemies. I've had a real hard time trying to do a top 10 with Hawkeye. I am missing like one key Hawkeye series, which would be Avenger Solo. And I'm still trying to get my hands on the Old Man Hawkeye series because I loved Hawkeye in the Old Man Logan run. And I'm missing a couple of Hawkeye miniseries here and there, but I have the Matt Fraction run. I have all the early Hawkeye miniseries, and I have almost the complete run of the West Coast Avengers, where obviously Hawkeye was a key character there. I have almost the complete run of the Thunderbolts. I'm missing a couple of issues where Hawkeye was the team leader there. And finally, I have like most of the big story arcs with the Avengers where Hawkeye is like a key player there. Because the thing is that Hawkeye fights a lot of villains in one-off battles. In all the stats that I have tallied up until now, he has fought against 55 different bad guys. I have 89 battles where Hawkeye goes solo against any type of villain, 59 wins, 18 losses, 12 ties. Sadly and very oddly, Hawkeye does not have a Marvel Series 1 trading card, so we can't see the stats there. So without further ado, let's get into this ranking. At number 6, we have the Skrulls. And for a while, like any chance that Hawkeye could get to kill a Skrull, he was going to do it. He really, really hated these shape-shifting aliens, especially for what happened during the Secret Invasion story arc, where he was tricked by a Skrull posing as Mockingbird, making him think that it was the real deal. And he was very moved by this whole situation, having Mockingbird back. The end of the relationship was pretty rough, and then she tragically died with this whole situation with Mephisto. Later on, during the Thunderbolts run in a annual, I'm not sure if it was the first or second one, whatever, Hawkeye literally went to hell to try to rescue Mockingbird from Mephisto. To his total and utter surprise, the person that he brought back was not Mockingbird, but Patsy Walker, Hellcat. And during this whole situation with the Secret Invasion, we actually discovered that Mockingbird and Hawkeye had lost a baby. Mockingbird had a miscarriage. That this had devastated the couple, but the thing is that we get this revelation as a reader from the Skrulls. The Skrulls found this out. They actually used this information to manipulate Hawkeye in the first place. The thing is that Hawkeye, when he discovers that the Mockingbird that he was with was a Skrull, he just totally loses it. He kills that Skrull on the spot, and he just goes to war against the Skrulls on his own. And at the end of the Secret Invasion crossover, we do get the real Mockingbird back. And the relationship didn't prosper, sadly. The thing is that with the Skrulls, Hawkeye has 3 battles, 3 wins. So let's go to number 5, who's the Swordsman, Hawkeye's old mentor. The guy was a real douchebag, and he sort of set Hawkeye down this path that led him to be, very briefly, a villain. Basically, Swordsman taught Hawkeye how to scam people and to be a pickpocket and to be a cat burglar. And all this was within the context that they both lived and worked in this traveling circus. That at moments, this particular circus was the Circus of Crime, the one headed by the Ringmaster. The thing is that with time, Hawkeye ended up becoming a superhero, joining the Avengers. And Swordsman also, in a very different path, ended up becoming a hero and joining the Avengers briefly. Now, within my collection, I have 3 battles with Hawkeye and Swordsman. All 3 times, Hawkeye has come out on top. And I must add that during the Fraction Hawkeye run, there was a new Swordsman that looked exactly like the old one, and Hawkeye was able to defeat him too. So let's go to number 4, where we have U.S. Agent, everyone's favorite nationalist blockhead, but I love John Walker as a character. And when he joined the West Coast Avengers, he was just a real pain in the ass for Hawkeye. Now, what I really loved about this whole situation is that we had a reversal in roles, because Clint, back when he joined the Avengers, he was a real pain in the ass for Captain America. And the really interesting thing is that even though U.S. Agent does give Hawkeye a hard time, he does look up to him and respect him. We even had this really great short story in Marvel Comics Presents where U.S. Agent goes out to try to find Hawkeye because he knew that Clint was just devastated over the death of Mockingbird, and he wanted to be there for him. And Clint was a dick every step of the way. It was fantastic. So I have 3 battles between U.S. Agent and Hawkeye, where Hawkeye comes out on top once, and we have 2 ties. And even very recently in the Hawkeye Freefall miniseries, where all the heroes were hunting down Hawkeye because he was going overboard as Ronin, U.S. Agent jumps into the fray, and he has like this brief monologue talking about, look, Hawkeye, I really respect you as a friend. Like, if you need any help, I'm there for you. And Hawkeye just totally blindsides him and knocks him out. Like, he just doesn't care for anything that U.S. Agent is talking about. And since we're talking about the Hawkeye Freefall miniseries, we can jump to number 3, because the main villain to that whole 6-issue arc is the Hood. And the Hood makes a fantastic fit for being, at least one day, like Hawkeye's arch nemesis. Both characters really play off each other very well. Now, in Freefall, they battle 3 times. Hawkeye's able to defeat him 2 times. He loses once. But what I really love about that story arc is how Hawkeye really takes it onto himself to destroy the Hood's empire and make things miserable for him. It is a very fun read because this leads to Hawkeye being at odds with most of Marvel's street-level heroes. So let's leave the Hood behind. Let's go to number 2, where we have the Secret Empire. Now, most of the battles, if not all, that Hawkeye has had with the Secret Empire was during one specific miniseries in the early 90s, where Hawkeye finds and saves this little wolf boy that's being experimented on by the Secret Empire. And Hawkeye crossed paths with another one of his old mentors, Trickshot. The story itself, it's not the best. Like, there's a couple of good moments between Hawkeye and Trickshot. And things get really bizarre with the Secret Empire because Viper, who used to be like the head of Hydra, is making her move to take over the Secret Empire. It's very 90s, but in a bad way. So the thing is that I have 4 battles between Hawkeye and the Secret Empire, 3 victories, 1 tie. And at number 1, we have the Tracksuit Mafia from the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run. And there we have 22 issues where almost during the whole run, Hawkeye is dealing with these guys. Basically, these very low-level thugs that seem to be all Eastern European that have taken over this neighborhood, and Hawkeye's protecting this building and all of its tenants. And even though Hawkeye is a superhero, he's having a hard time dealing with the Tracksuit Mafia because there are just so many. It's sort of like old school Hydra, like you cut off a head and 2 more heads take its place. In this case, like you have 4 more Gopniks replace the guy that Hawkeye just took down. And in many ways, like the Tracksuit Mafia do not follow normal supervillain tropes and break a lot of rules, and this catches Hawkeye off guard. And even though they're sort of ridiculous and funny at moments, like the leader of the group is super evil. So we're gonna leave this ranking here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.